Hello, guys! Então, nós iniciamos a nossa aula, do dia 21, sexta-feira, com este vídeo no Chapter 7, A Perfect World, page 64. Ok, guys? Então, na página 64, nós iniciamos o capítulo 7, o estudo do capítulo 7, e eu coloquei para vocês esse vídeo, que é um vídeo que explica, o conteúdo da página 65, falando sobre esse texto aqui, ó, make a difference, fazendo a diferença, tá? So, pay attention and let's go to watch the video. Deixa eu só desligar o meu vídeo aqui para não distrair vocês.
In the United Kingdom, a government is elected at least once every 5 years. In a general election, citizens vote for a Member of Parliament, or MP, for their local area. You only vote for one person. The person with the most votes becomes the MP and directly represents the area. The party with the most elected MPs usually forms the government. MPs meet inside the Houses of Parliament in London. The leader of the government is the Prime Minister. UK citizens over the age of 18 are allowed to vote, but the law doesn't make people vote. In fact, in the 2010 general election, around 35% of people chose not to vote. People won't vote unless there's a party they support. Some young people are very interested in politics and want to take part. They think it's unfair that if a young person has a job at the age of 16, the law will make them pay taxes, but it won't let them vote. However, if young people become involved in the UK Youth Parliament, they'll have the chance to become politically active before they're 18. This group of teenagers are having a discussion at a meeting of the Oxfordshire Youth Parliament. The teenagers are from schools in the local area. The idea of these meetings is to give young people a voice in the politics of their local area.
And it's education. Okay.
At the moment, they're looking at how the government spends its money. Next, they have the chance to decide what they would do if they were politicians. They have to choose what they would spend the money on if they ruled the country. Later on, they'll have the opportunity to discuss their ideas with local politicians. 3 of the students in the room this evening have an even bigger role in national youth politics because they're also members of the UK Youth Parliament. The UK Youth Parliament has over 600 elected members around the country. Elected members are known as MYPs, and they're all between 11 and 18 years old. The MYPs represent the views of young people in their local area at regional and national meetings of the UK Youth Parliament. Elections for the Oxfordshire MYPs were held in February. Young people could vote by text and online for the person who they wanted to represent them. When all the votes were counted, the candidates attended a meeting in Oxford to hear the results. All 17 candidates have worked hard on their campaigns. They had different policies and ideas about which issues were the most important. They gave speeches in their schools and put up posters. Some of them used the internet to publicize their campaign.
My name's DK Blackings, and for my campaign, what I did is I spoke to people in my school, spoke to people in other schools. I did most of this over Facebook, so I made it modern and contemporary to get people involved in politics, trying to keep it relevant.
If they were elected, these teenagers would become the voice of young people in their area for the next year and have a chance to make a real difference. Some young people think that politicians won't listen to their opinions when they can't vote in general elections. But becoming a MYP can give them the opportunity to influence government policies on issues that are important to them, like education, public transport, and child poverty. Some people believe that if the UK lowered the voting age to 16, more young people would vote in the future. Finally, it was time to announce the 3 new MYPs.
MYP is, I'm very pleased to announce Hello Castro.
After the ceremony, the new MYPs were congratulated by a local MP, John Howell.
The UK Youth Parliament is a brilliant way of getting them really involved. They have to stand for election, they have to make speeches, they have to represent people, because they are doing fantastic things right across this county.
The MYPs are excited about their new opportunities. Maybe if they're good at the job, they'll become MPs when they're older. And who knows, maybe one of these charismatic young politicians is a future Prime Minister.
So, guys, então esse vídeo é a respeito do texto na página 65. Make a difference. 18-year-old Tom Blackshaw is the youngest councillor in the UK. On the 3rd February 2011, he won 41% of the votes in a local election and was elected to serve on the town council of St. Ives near Cambridge. A lot of people were surprised when Tom decided to stand for election, as he was still studying for his level exams at school. He likes helping the community, and he saw it as an opportunity to get more involved. Some people were skeptical about this young age, but this only made him more determined. In the end, he won with a large majority. He got a lot of support from his friends, family, and teachers, although many of his friends couldn't vote for him. They weren't 18, so they weren't old enough to vote. However, they were able to encourage their parents to vote for him. In the past, you weren't allowed to be a candidate for a local council election unless you were 21, but the age was lowered in the 2006 to let people stand for election as soon as they are 18. In England, town council elections are usually held every 4 years. The town council is responsible for local services including street lighting, rubbish collection, and local facilities. Tom was an independent candidate, so he isn't connected to a political party. His 2-month election campaign confused on issues that are important to him. He said that if he won, he would improve facilities for teenagers and provide more activities for them, and he would involve more young people in the future of the town. He also said that he wanted to improve public transport in the town and make it a nicer place to live in. How will he cope with both his studies and council work? Tom realizes that it's going to be a busy time for him, but most counselors work full time and also have family commitments, which he doesn't have. Furthermore, he finishes school at 3 p.m. weekday, so he can devote his afternoons to meeting residents and doing his council work. As the former chairman of his sixth form community at school, Tom is used to talking on responsibilities. He believes that everyone, young or old, should be allowed to participate in local politics. He recognizes that he has less experience than most counselors, but believes his age might also be an advantage. He says he will bring enthusiasm, earnest and creativity to the council. And of course, he was a very good understanding of needs of young people. Esse texto, gente, ó, molezinha para entender. Não tem palavras complexas, não tem palavras complicadas, tá? Vamos fazer aqui a checagem do word check depois, no próximo vídeo. E esse vídeo aqui foi só mesmo para mostrar sobre o que se trata o título do texto, né? A Perfect World. O que seria um mundo perfeito para você, né? Então, eu separei em 2 partes, por quê? Porque eu não consegui postar a conferência toda lá no YouTube para depois liberar. E aqui a gente fez esses exercícios na conferência juntos a respeito do texto. Vocês responderam a respeito dessas perguntas aqui. Então, o que eu fiz? Eu tirei da conferência a parte do vídeo que eu gravei agora. Estou postando separadamente, que dá exatamente os 45 minutos da nossa conferência, tá? E é isso, guys. Façam o estudo do texto, usem o dictionary, né? O dicionário online é muito importante para que você possa desenvolver o seu inglês da melhor forma. Eu vou falar isso toda vez. Vai chegar uma hora que eu vou falar, nossa, mas a professora não para de falar isso, que tem que usar o dicionário. Gente, o dicionário é o seu amigo. The dictionary is your best friend forever in this process to learn English. Então, acredite em mim, believe me. Se você usar o dicionário e fizer esse estudo dos textos, com certeza você vai desenvolver a sua escrita, a sua fala da melhor forma, tá? Encerrando aqui o vídeo. Thanks, guys. See you.